stage is set for the final act!
Welcome to MojoPlays, and today we're counting down our picks for the top 10 most horrifying enemies in Resident Evil 4. With the remake of RE4, we see a lot of returning enemies, now with way more terrifying details. Any of the grisly infected could have been on the list, however there are a select few that haunt our dreams. Also stranger, this video contains spoilers. Which enemy do you think is the most frightening? Let us know in the comments. Before we continue, we publish content all week long. Be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos. First encounter. The first villager shouldn't be this scary, but his appearance sets up the more horror-focused tone Resident Evil 4 is going for. The build-up to his first strike is full of tension and quickly ends with Leon being a badass and breaking his neck with a swift kick. It's not until we reach the basement where things get terrifying. We can hear the villager making his way down the stairs, and with excellent lighting and shadows, we see the plaga protruding from his neck. Not only did this guy attack unprovoked, he also had the gall to come back for round 2 with his head barely attached.
I'll let myself out.
Brute.
God damn.
One of the few new enemies in Resident Evil 4, he not only looks scary, but also not knowing how he acts adds to the terror. The Brute is a heavy hitter donning a cow's head. This alone is psychotic and horrifying. While the Brute's choice of headgear is bad enough, he is also much larger than most of the villagers you run across. The Brute also doesn't seem to care about his fellow villagers, as he'll swing his hammer and take out anyone in his path. Imagine seeing a 7-foot human wearing a cow head swinging a giant hammer with ease. Yeah, it's pretty scary. Dr. Salvador.
Oh, you gotta be kidding me.
Better known as the Chainsaw Guy, Dr. Salvador is the first enemy that will at times seem invincible. Not only does Dr. Salvador look scary with his bloodstained burlap sack over his head and his weird beady eyes piercing through the eye holes, he can also take headshot after headshot. Seeing this knockoff Leatherface keep coming forward swinging his chainsaw with only wanting to take your head off is enough to make us run. Dr. Salvador is more powerful than before. Sure, he could always kill us with one swift swipe of his chainsaw, but now he can take up parts of the environment. Colmillos. Usually when we see a dog in a game, we think, can we pet the good boy? But don't try to pet these guys. Seeing a pack of these hideous doggos run towards you isn't really where the horrifying element lies. Seeing these guys while it's dark will have you freeze in your tracks and question if you should even push on. There is nothing more terrifying than seeing their glowing red eyes and large yellow teeth just waiting to pounce on you when they get the chance. Not only are these aggressive wolves, they also have the plaga, which will explode from their backs with tons of tentacles waving around, adding to their attack range. So if you see these doggos, don't try to pet them. El Gigante. The detail in this guy is something else. El Gigante was always horrifying. Anything that can pick up a tree or house with ease is enough to scare me. Seeing this wannabe Shrek being so aggressive trying to smush us is horrifying enough, but seeing the plaga protruding from his back and having Leon do his best Shadow of the Colossus impression and scale up this beast is nuts. Having this thing tower over us and realizing just how small we truly are makes us question if Baby Eagle is worth saving. Chainsaw Sisters.
Great.
What's more horrifying than one chainsaw-wielding lunatic? Two chainsaw-wielding sisters. These sisters aren't as terrifying as Dr. Salvador at first, but once they surround you, you'll start shaking in your boots. While these sisters don't have the iconic burlap sack on their head, they do have their faces covered with blood-stained bandages and one eye peeking out. Just like all the other heavy enemies, the Chainsaw Sisters will take bullet after bullet. What makes them extra horrifying is realizing that these two were probably the lovely grannies of the village. Don't take candies from these two. The Big Cheese. Mendez was always horrifying. A normal-looking man that happens to be almost 7 foot tall. Mendez will sneak behind Leon and tower over him while looking stoic. Whenever you run into the beast of a man, he always says some culty lines that just freak me out. When we finally get to take him on, we find out why he's been wearing that trench coat. Once we see his true form, we see the plaga covered his spine. With the fire burning behind him, we see all of his little insect-like legs moving. And just when we think we get him by breaking that spine, he hangs from the rafters with just his torso with blood and guts hanging. Verdugo. Salazar's right-hand men, Verdugo is something else. We only really fight one of these in RE4 Remake, but that one is terrifying. These insect-looking creatures just don't look natural, which adds to their terror. The Verdugo are 8 foot tall, so they tower over Leon and give off Ridley Scott alien vibes. Just like the aliens in Alien, the one Verdugo we do fight is actually hunting us. Hearing their claws pitter-patter on the metal floor and ceiling will send shivers up and down your spine, and as it attacks when we least expect it. The fact that we're trying to survive while being stalked and waiting on the elevator adds to the horror as well. Regenerador. This time around, these guys are extra grotesque. Seeing the Regenerador in the remake really added to their scare factor. Seeing all the detail in their sewn eyes and blood-soaked bodies were truly creepy. While their visuals were creepy, hearing them grunt and breathe heavy while attempting to hear your movement added to the suspense. Once they hear you, you better move out of the way, or they'll slice and dice you with their Wolverine claws. Seeing how powerful and aggressive these guys are, it's no wonder why they were kept in a prison cell.
Great. There's 2 of them.
Regenerador. These things are the most horrifying thing in Resident Evil 4. I mean, what are they? The Regenerators appear in the spookiest area in Resident Evil 4, small hallways with little to no light. Hearing the disturbing grunts these things make will set you in panic alone. The Regenerators can be blown to pieces and will always come back for more. These guys also have amazing reach with their arms that stretch out in a creepy fashion. If Regenerators aren't horrifying enough, taking some of them out and having them turn into Iron Maidens will spike your fear level all the way up. Did you enjoy this video? Check out some other clips from MojoPlays, and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.